Kevin Stefanski reportedly gives up on the Browns after Shedeur Sanders named QB2 after a 3-14 collapse last season. The Cleveland Browns entered the 2025 campaign with renewed optimism. The front office went all in during the offseason, investing heavily in free agency and the NFL draft. Hopes were high that this new-look roster could turn things around under head coach Kevin Stefanski. But as the first 5 weeks of the season have unfolded, the optimism has quickly faded into frustration. With a dismal 1-4 start, the Browns once again find themselves near the bottom of the league standings, and reports suggest that Stefanski may already be waving the white flag on the season. According to ESPN insider Adam Schefter, Cleveland's recent roster decisions paint the picture of a team ready to reset, not contend. David Njoku, Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, and more Browns veterans all listed as potential trade candidates per league executives and coaches via Adam Schefter, ESPN reported. That's not just smoke, that's a fire sale in progress. For a franchise desperate to find stability, this is a shocking turn of events. Just months ago, Stefanski and the Browns front office were speaking confidently about competing in the AFC North. Now, barely into October, the head coach seems to have lost faith in his core group. A locker room in limbo. It all began with the decision to move on from veteran quarterback Joe Flacco. After a turbulent start, Cleveland shipped him off to the Cincinnati Bengals, signaling a shift toward youth and long-term planning. In doing so, Stefanski essentially told his locker room and the fan base that the focus had already shifted to 2026. Trading your starting quarterback mid-season is one thing. Putting your key veterans on the trade block is another level entirely. The move has reportedly stunned the locker room, especially those who believed the team still had a shot to compete. To some executives around the league, this is Stefanski's attempt to reset before things spiral further. If the coach truly believes this roster can't compete, then offloading aging players for draft capital is the only logical move. But to fans who've endured decades of heartbreak, this looks and feels like surrender. Throwing in the towel midway through the season sends the wrong message, said one anonymous AFC executive. It tells players that management doesn't believe in them, and that can crush a team's morale. The veterans on the block. The most eye-catching name on Schefter's list is tight end David Njoku, a longtime fan favorite and one of Cleveland's most reliable offensive weapons. Njoku is playing out the final year of his deal, and the Browns have a promising young replacement in rookie Harold Fannin. The rookie's flashes of athleticism and versatility have reportedly convinced coaches that he can handle a larger role. If Cleveland is in rebuild mode, Njoku's departure could be imminent. Then there's Wyatt Teller, a mainstay on the offensive line since the Baker Mayfield era. Teller has been one of the Browns' most consistent performers, but his contract is up after this season, and he turns 31 in November. For a franchise shifting toward younger talent, Teller's future in Cleveland looks uncertain. Losing him would be a major blow to an offensive line already teetering on the edge, with several other starters considering free agency or retirement next year. As for Joel Bitonio, the veteran guard has been the heart and soul of this team for more than a decade. His leadership and loyalty have made him a beloved figure among fans. Yet even Bitonio's name has surfaced in trade talks. Though he's expected to retire at season's end, Stefanski might still be tempted to move him for a late-round draft pick rather than let him walk for nothing. Trading Bitonio, however, would be a public relations nightmare. Letting a lifelong Brown finish his career elsewhere would reinforce the idea that Cleveland's management values business over loyalty. Still, the organization has already shown its willingness to make ruthless decisions, sending Joe Flacco, a respected veteran, and recent starter, to a division rival was the clearest indication yet that sentiment has no place in their rebuilding strategy. The Joe Flacco trade and its ripple effect. Flacco's move to the Bengals was more than just a roster adjustment. It changed the entire quarterback hierarchy in Cleveland. With the veteran gone, the Browns' once crowded quarterback room suddenly became a two-man competition between rookies Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, the son of NFL Hall of Famer and Colorado head coach Deion Sanders. Sanders' rise from QB4 to QB2 has been one of the most intriguing storylines of the season. After patiently waiting his turn through camp and early season rotations, the young quarterback now finds himself one injury away from the starting job. When Shedeur first arrived in Cleveland, expectations were modest. He was raw but talented, a player with high football IQ, calm under pressure, and charisma that reminded many of his father. But with the Browns' season spiraling and fans desperate for a spark, Shedeur's name is beginning to echo throughout the city. The quarterback conundrum, for now, rookie Dillon Gabriel remains the starter. His numbers, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, suggest a steady hand, but the deeper truth tells another story. Gabriel has been overly cautious, prioritizing safe passes and conservative play calls that keep the Browns in games but rarely push them over the edge. It's a style that frustrates fans craving excitement and production. The Browns have talent on offense, but they've lacked the boldness to capitalize on it. And in the NFL, playing not to lose often means you eventually do. That's where Shedeur Sanders comes in. His confidence, deep ball accuracy, and leadership intangibles make him a tantalizing option for a team looking to inject life into a fading season. He's got that it factor, one Browns assistant reportedly told a local reporter. He's not afraid to make a mistake. And right now, that's exactly what this team needs. Someone who believes they can win. The moment Gabriel throws his first bad interception or has a poor half, the noise will start. Fans at Cleveland Browns Stadium and the ever-lively Browns Twitter community will begin chanting for Shedeur. And when that happens, it will be hard for Stefanski to ignore. Stefanski's dilemma head coach Kevin Stefanski is at a crossroads. He's facing immense pressure from fans, ownership, and the media. The decision to pivot toward youth and potential means accepting short-term pain for long-term growth. But in the NFL, patience is a luxury few coaches are afforded. If Stefanski truly has given up on the 2025 season, as reports suggest, then his focus is no longer on wins and losses. It's on development. That could mean more reps for rookies, more experimentation with lineups, and possibly giving Shedeur Sanders his first real NFL start before the year is over. For a team that's 1-4, the logic is simple. There's nothing left to lose. Let the kids play. See what you have. Prepare for the draft. But there's also risk. Fans have grown tired of the rebuilding narrative that has followed this franchise for decades. Another season of excuses could further alienate a fan base already on edge. A franchise at a breaking point, the Cleveland Browns have long been one of the NFL's most unpredictable franchises. For every brief glimmer of hope, there's been an equally crushing collapse. The cycle has become painfully familiar. New coach, new quarterback, new plan, and the same disappointing results. This season was supposed to be different. The defense looked promising on paper, the offense had weapons, and the coaching staff appeared united. But 5 weeks in, it's hard to find any silver lining. Injuries, inconsistency, and questionable coaching decisions have derailed what was supposed to be a redemption year. Now, with rumors of a locker room divided and veterans on the trade block, the Browns' identity is once again in question. The Shedeur Sanders factor, and yet, amid the uncertainty, there's a glimmer of intrigue. And it revolves around Shedeur Sanders. The young quarterback's confidence, leadership, and poise under pressure have quietly impressed his teammates and coaches alike. During practices, Sanders has reportedly shown a deep understanding of Stefanski's system. His ability to read defenses and make quick decisions has drawn praise from coaches who see him as the potential future of the franchise. If and when Stefanski decides to hand him the reins, it could mark the beginning of a new era in Cleveland. Fans have already embraced him as a symbol of hope, a fresh face who might finally break the endless cycle of quarterback instability. Every great franchise has that. One guy who changes everything, a team insider said. If Shedeur gets his shot and proves he's that guy, it could reset the entire culture here. Looking ahead, the Browns' immediate future looks bleak. A 1-4 start in a brutal AFC North division all but eliminates their playoff hopes. But if there's any silver lining, it's the opportunity to evaluate the young core. Stefanski and the front office can use the remainder of the season to identify who belongs in the long-term picture and who doesn't. Veterans like Njoku, Teller and Bitonio may soon find new homes as Cleveland stockpiles draft picks. It's a painful but necessary process for a team desperate to build something sustainable. The real question, however, is whether Kevin Stefanski will still be the one leading that rebuild. If the Browns continue to slide, ownership might decide it's time for another reset, this time at the top.